Toronto Maple Leafs lost to the Edmonton Oilers. Connor McDavid, who hadn't exactly lit it up in his hometown, just teased his hometown team with some talent on display. He had 4 points, none of which prettier than the goal he scored while making Morgan Riley look like he worked at the brass rail.
And McDavid against Morgan Riley. McDavid, what a move! What a play! What a goal! Connor McDavid!
What a goal! My goodness, what a goal by Connor McDavid!
His first goal in Toronto, and you'll remember that one.
Connor McDavid, yet another goal of the year candidate right there. Wow.
The brass rail, McCallum?
He undressed him.
Oh. Thought he gave him a dance or something.
We went to McFire instead of McHoly Bleep.
I almost got fired just now trying to say
on the
McHoly
graphic
Bleep.
in studio. I think the McHoly Bleep works because it was a holy bleep. What part of the goal impressed you the most? Before we get into where people want to go on this, what part of, like, you just watching as a fan, your reaction was what besides McHoly Bleep?
I mean, what's not to love here? There's about 30 things, unless you're Morgan Riley. The one thing, Tim, I'll never forget is the emotion from this emotionless player.
Yeah.
His 4th point of the night, hometown, God knows how many people were in attendance based on his comments post-game. He had to get a ton of tickets, and he wasn't really happy about it. Anyway, but that smile at the end of the play for a guy in McDavid who was like an iceberg 99% of the time is the image of the night. And the other part of this, and I know Seb, who works camera here on Tim and Sid, he was in the building last night. So, Seb, maybe you can back me up on this. Guys, I want to run the sound up again with Kevin Quinn, who had a great call of it on Sportsnet West last night with Louis DeBrusque. Scotiabank Arena is the worst arena in sports for atmosphere.
For audience noise.
For a Leaf game specifically. Mm-hmm. There is a AAA battery has more energy in it than a Leaf crowd on most nights.
Most nights, yeah.
I want you to listen specifically for the crowd on this goal. It sounds like they're in Edmonton. And I'm hearing Oiler fans. I'm seeing Leaf fans on their feet. There were people in Leaf jerseys on their feet after Connor McDavid. Seb, am I right or am I wrong? They were on their feet when this went in. So let's play it again, guys, and listen for it. I rarely hear a Scotiabank crowd like this for a visitor.
And McDavid against Morgan Riley. McDavid, what a move! What a play! What a goal! Connor McDavid!
Absolutely undressed him.
That is, I mean, Tim, we've seen a couple things in sports over the last few years where the opposing fans knew greatness when they saw Cristiano Ronaldo at Juventus.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened a lot. But those are the two things to me among the 30 that really stick out. The noise at Scotiabank when that happened was very rare and unique for that building and that fan base. And I thought it was crazy.
For those who don't know this show, Sid and I usually don't talk about the topics that we're going to talk about on the show, just so it stays fresh and we can surprise each other every once in a while.
Have a real conversation?
I didn't know that you were going to walk down that road on that, but it reminded me of Anthony Stewart's tweet that was out earlier today, and we'll retweet it for those who haven't seen it, but what he had sent to him and he ended up retweeting was a pause after the goal was scored from the Sportsnet broadcast. And I pulled it up on my computer so the folks on TV can see. But there are folks reacting with jaws dropped and the old,
oh, wow.
Oh my God, what did I just see? And they're all circled in the picture. We'll retweet it. If you're in your car, you can check it a little bit later when you stop the car and looked at it safely. Please don't do it while you're driving.
Yeah, do it safely, please. Do it safely.
But that's what you're talking about. That, like, oh my God, I just witnessed greatness. And Seb, when I walked into the studio, he said, I saw the best goal I will ever see in person last night because he was at the game.
I mean, but when he made that move, never mind the finish, it was the move where you heard the gasp in the crowd. Guys, I know I'm asking for a few looks at it here and listens. Just the gasp. Listen for it.
And McDavid against Morgan Riley. McDavid, what a move! What a play!
Like, you
What
got to
a
be kidding me.
goal!
That was before the goal hadn't been scored yet.
Yeah, if you're just listening,
Goal hadn't been scored yet.
all you hear is, oh, that's amazing. The part for me that was most impressive was the move, because he kind of lulled. And he didn't want to talk about it after, which was amazing.
Yeah,
I'm not
never-
giving up,
never
I'm,
does.
I'm not giving up my secrets. No, he said I'm not giving
Oh,
up
the
my
secret
secrets.
part. Yeah, sorry
Yeah,
about
I'm
that.
not giving up my secrets, which I love. But the part was he lulled Riley to sleep by slowing the pace down and looking like he was going to wait for other guys to come into the zone. And as soon as he saw Morgan Riley attempt a crossover, my guy exploded. And you'll hear high end. You can see it on the back angle shot. As soon as he brought his right skate to go over his left skate, McDavid with one step and a move with the stick handle was by him before he could blink. And you'll hear high-end elite hockey trainers say, oh, yeah, when the guy crosses over, that's when you make your move. To do it at the speed that McDavid did and then roof it was unbelievable. And I know we're going overboard because it's what? In the end,
We're not going overboard. That was sick, man.
In the end,
Like-
it's only what, a top 10 goal of all time? Like, where do we rank this? Did you hear Alex Chason after the game? Teammate,
I actually didn't. No.
pro hockey player, Alex Chason had this to say about that goal.
I told Louis DeBrus that's the nicest goal I've ever seen. Just pure skill. We're lucky to have him.
I love that.
Who's starring in the movie Taken? Who's the actor?
Oh, you mean Liam Neeson?
Liam Neeson. He had the
I have a
seriousness
particular
of
set
Liam
of
Neeson.
skills, yeah.
That goal was so good. He was like serious as a heart attack. Alex Chason. That was one of the greatest goals ever.
No, but
Ever.
What
Greatest
made-
goal I've ever seen.
what
ever.
made me laugh was the efficiency of the words.
Can I hear it again?
Because
Tim's right.
he didn't need to say much.
No.
All he had to say was about 7 or 8 words, I think.
I told Louis DeBrus that's the nicest goal I've ever seen. Just pure skill. We're lucky to have him.
Yeah, well, yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
Just make sure to get Draisaitl to play on his own line, and then you got things cooking there.
All right, the pure skill part of this. When we start this conversation, and we don't have to have the same one that we had on Twitter, but the pure skill, not importance, not when it happened, just using your brain, your skills, your athletic ability, just skill on display. Where does that rank in the all-time goals that you have ever seen? Because,
Sorry, go on.
yeah,
Well, I'm just like the term strictly based on skill. I'm a little confused by. Aren't all these great goals with a bit of skill?
no, but I think like Paul Henderson's goal, right? It goes down as one of the greatest goals of all time.
Right.
But skill-wise, you just banged in a loose
Oh,
puck.
I see. Circumstance changes. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Sidney Crosby's golden goal
Like,
is obviously a great goal in Canadian history, but I'm just talking pure
You're
skill.
talking about what you did to another human being whose job it is to defend you.
So my number one
Right.
all-time pure skill goal of all time, and a lot of people may remember this, has to be Mario Lemieux on Ray Bourque. And it was because Mario Lemieux did something that I had never seen before. He put the puck in the skates of the defenseman he was attempting to beat,
Hall of Fame defenseman.
but he did it against one of the greatest defensemen of our generation, Sixero, made him look silly, and then finished against Andy Moak.
That is, if that's not the greatest first goal ever for any player in the history of the league, I don't know what is. Like, that is special.
So that's your number one?
No. That is not to me the greatest skill goal I've ever seen.
Okay, let me offer up another.
Let's see if you hit it. I like this game.
Denny Savard
Oh, Denny Savard.
taking the Oilers to the brass rail
Denny-
because he undressed several Oilers.
Two brass rail references on this.
And he spun back like at center, and then he undressed two. And I feel like if Denny Savard played in this era, Denny Savard would be a different player. And there's a lot of kids out there that have never seen the Denny Savard versus the Oilers goal, which was from 1988. So we'll tweet that out as well, just so people have it. Am I doing any better?
That goal's nice. I don't know if that's in my top 10.
I feel like when you invent something, like I had never seen anyone think of putting it in the defenseman's skates. That's why I put that Mario goal, because Mario's top 10 could be among the top 20 in the history of the NHL.
We didn't have to get other goals.
No,
this is your point.
Just roll your Mario. But for me, that's
Mario.
why. Can I put Mike Legg from Michigan in overtime, pulling off the lacrosse goal in this list?
See, here's my problem with this goal now. I'm seeing it too much. I'm serious.
I'm seeing
it too much. When this goal lived in infamy for like 2 decades, it was different.
Okay,
but now, like Svechnikov has trademarked it in modern era.
Okay, hold on. Stop.
Austin Matthews is trying to do it every game. He's hilariously missing it.
Stop. Mike Legg did it in an important game in overtime in 1996.
Yeah.
Svechnikov is the first NHLer to ever pull it off.
Twice. In the same season.
He did it this year.
Yep. What I'm saying is the expiry date has passed on it for me.
It took 23 years.
But now the thrill is gone. Hey, rock set. Must have been love, but it's over now.
All right.
I'm just saying. When that goal stood alone with
he
the
invented a goal.
That's top 10 easy.
No, but
Svechnikov's ruining it for me because now it's like way easier than it should be.
He invented a goal.
Yeah, no, I understand the point.
Okay.
What I'm telling you is it's not as exciting to me as it used to be.
Right.
That's what I'm telling you.
That's why Bure skate to stick was high for me too.
Oh yeah.
So I'll just say that because I know there's Vancouver fans.
That's big. Can I counter with a few?
Yes,
Since we're playing this game.
Yes, please.
Which I love. We can't find the whole version of this Bobby Orr 1974 goal while shorthanded against the Atlanta Flames.
But you just describe it for the radio
he
audience.
starts out to center ice, comes back behind his own net, goes back out behind his own net, goes through the entire Flames team, goes around the net, empty net, dude slides, still goes underneath him. Bobby Orr. Boom. That's all you need to know. And he's exhausted by the end of it. Like he's leaning over. That's how tired Bobby Orr is. So that, to me, that's a top 10 goal of all time. Easy.
I went searching for it on YouTube so that I could find it and see it and rank it all over again, and I couldn't find the whole thing. But
For some reason we couldn't.
But I remember the whole thing.
Oh yeah,
I remember him weaving, going back behind his own net, stopping, waiting, then going through everybody else.
Yep.
And scoring that goal.
Tim, my next nominee, and again the goal we just showed on television, the Bobby Orr goal. That's not the greatest goal ever. This next goal for Mario Lemieux to me is not the greatest goal ever.
Oh, you're saving your greatest goal.
I'm gonna close the show. The second last goal though was Lemieux, Game 2.
John Casey.
Sean Chambers, specifically.
Yeah.
Ending the life of Sean Chambers in the National Hockey League in Game 2 of the Cup Final. Threw his legs around Casey. What a goal! What a move! Lemieux, oh baby.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Harry Neal said "one versus the world" on that goal, and that's what it looked like.
It's funny. I don't remember Harry. I love Harry Neal. I don't remember Harry's call like that. It's all I remember is Bob's for some reason. None of the goals we just talked about are the greatest goal of all time, skill-wise. None.
All right.
Martin Luther King Day, 2006.
Ovi?
Young player named Alexander Ovechkin against the then Phoenix Coyotes scored the greatest goal of all time because dude was in midair, couldn't see the net, still scored. Someone make the argument that is not the greatest skill goal in the history of the sport. You cannot do it. My guy wasn't looking at the net. He goes in midair. A penalty is committed, and he still scores. The Great Eight was truly born that day. There is no debate. Ovechkin in 06 against the Coyotes.
There's been a lot of people nominating goals in our thread, and you can check out our thread on twitter.com @TimandSid and look at some of the goals. The Rick Nash goal was ridiculous with the Rangers where he undresses like 3 or 4 guys, but he lost control of the puck and then finished. And if we're splitting hairs of greatness, which is what we're doing
here. Which is exactly what we're doing.
Then can you take a mark? Do you take a mark off on the Ovechkin goal that as he undresses, I believe it was Paul Mara, that it hit the skate of Mara before he finishes on the ice?
You cannot, because he clearly knew where the puck was because of his greatness. It's irrelevant what happened to the puck between him slightly losing it and getting it back. That actually enhances it for me. Thank you for double making my point, McAllister.
I don't know if it's a double make your point.
He lost possession, got it back because he is a wizard. Ovechkin.
But if it's pure skill, you wouldn't lose possession.
But by the time he gets it back, his pure wait a second.
Yes.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
So pure skill when you're on your back and you can't see the net doesn't allow for that goal being scored? That's not pure skill?
Allow me to split hairs on the greatest goal of all time.
How dare you?